Hey, thanks for clicking on my video. 𝗕𝗓𝗧𝗢 here, and today I want to once and for all answer the question, will LHR, you know, like the NVIDIA hash rate limiter that they've been putting on some of their new GPUs, even matter once Ethereum mining goes away? You know, like how Ethereum is moving to proof of stake instead of proof of work and is no longer gonna be mineable, probably after sometime early next year. Well, here's what we're gonna be doing in this video. So as you guys know, I have these two like identical 3070s, just that one is LHR and one is non-LHR, like regular, it gets full hash rate. And what we're gonna be doing today is I'm gonna take both of these GPUs and I'm gonna be comparing them on like over 20 algorithms basically. So in case you haven't seen it, I already have a video comparing these two GPUs on like 5 of the most commonly mined coins right now. I believe I compare them on Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, Ravencoin, Ergo, FLUX, and SERO. I guess that's the 6 most common ones right now. However, that didn't feel like enough, so I'm gonna be testing it on quite a few more algorithms in this video. Now, there is one that I'm not gonna be testing, but thank you to Anonymous Miner for letting me know about this. His channel will be linked in the description, that Zilliqa is affected by LHR. So right off the bat, there you go, that is affected by LHR. But with that out of the way, let's jump into our massive coin comparison between the LHR and non-LHR. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do for all of these coins. I just wanna establish whether these coins are affected by LHR or not. So I'm not gonna tweak my overclocks to try to find the perfect sweet spot for efficiency or the highest hash rate or anything like that. But what I will do is I'll mine them with no overclocks, and then I'll also apply just some basic overclocks to see what sort of hash rate we get roughly, and then I'm going to put those numbers into what to mine for each coin, and we can see roughly the profitability of, you know, that coin based on today's value. I'm also going to leave power limit on 100% for all of these coins, because that shouldn't matter when we're trying to establish whether a coin is affected by LHR or not. So without further ado, let's jump into our first coin, which is ZANO. Alright, so we're up and mining ZANO, and right away we're getting the same hash rate for both cards. We're getting about 25.74 with no overclocks. So I'm just going to apply some overclocks to our GPUs here now, and we'll see what we get with overclocks. Alrighty, so with overclocks we're getting around 30.7 mega hash on both GPUs. So it's definitely safe to say that ZANO is not affected by LHR, which is great news. Now let's come to what to mine and look up just how much that would give us in profit per day. So I'm going to put in 30.7 mega hash, and I'm just going to put power at 0. So we're not going to take power cost into account for this, and let's hit calculate. And so daily profit right now would be about $3.70. Now of course that is before electric costs, so just take that into account, but still that's pretty profitable if you ask me. Alright, let's move on to the next coin. Alright, so the next coin we're going to mine is VeriBlock, and as you can see I've got it up and running here with no overclocks applied. And I think it's safe to say that it is not affected by LHR. We're getting 12.9 mega hash on both cards. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply some overclocks to both cards here, and we'll see what we get with overclocking. Alright, and with overclocks applied we're getting 15.4 mega hash a second on both coins. So I think it's fairly safe to say that VeriBlock not affected by LHR. Now unfortunately VeriBlock isn't on what to mine, so I couldn't tell you the daily profitability, but whatever. Let's move on to the next coin. Alright, so the next coin we're gonna mine is SERO, and right away we can see here we're getting 25.58, 25.55, I mean 25.58 basically for both cards. So doesn't seem that LHR affects ZERO mining in any way, which is great news. Now this is of course without overclocks, so let me apply some overclocks real quick, and just some simple basic overclocks here, and let's see what we get with overclocks. Alright, so it seems that with overclocks we're getting around 30.5 mega hash mining ZERO on both coins, so I think it's fairly safe to say that ZERO mining is not affected by LHR. Now let's come into what to mine here and see what our daily profit is. So 30.5 mega hash power, I'm just gonna put to 0 and let's calculate. So well, it's not a very profitable coin currently. We're daily profit of around 1 cent, and that's before electricity costs. So yeah, not the most profitable coin right now. Well, so let's move on to the next one, shall we? Alright, so the next coin we're going to try out is Aeternity, and actually right away it does seem like the LHR card has a slightly lower hash rate, but only by like 5% or so. But that might very well go away as soon as we apply the overclocks. So let's do that right away for both GPUs here. And let's see what hash rate we get on Aeternity with overclocks. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think Aeternity is affected by LHR. Looking at it here, like we're getting 10.4 on the LHR GPU and 10.24 on the non-LHR, but the LHR one is also pulling a little bit less power, so I don't know, maybe I just need to like restart my MSI Afterburner or something. But yeah, I mean, maybe Aeternity is a little bit affected, but by what, like 1%? Like that could just be down to silicon lottery for all I care. But yeah, we're getting just above 10 mega hash per card here. So I'm gonna put that into what to mine. Or I guess it's hash per second, not mega hash per second. And let's just leave power blank for now. So yeah, we're getting a daily profit of about $2.41 per card before electricity. Not too bad at all, actually. So yeah, let's move on to the next coin. Okay, so the next coin we're gonna mine is Beam, and you can see I've got it up and running here, and we're getting, I mean, like just around 39.5 mega hash on both coins with no overclocks applied. Again, the LHR one is slightly below the non-LHR, but also pulling a lot less power. So I'm gonna apply some overclocks and I'll check back in with you when I've done that. Alright, so basically I think it's fairly safe to say that Beam is not affected by LHR. I'm getting pretty much the same hash rate on both, just above 44 mega hash for both cards, and that is with overclocks. So let's go into what to mine and see what profit we would get. So okay, I guess again it's hashes per second, not mega hash a second. So 44, is that what I said? Yeah, so 44 hash per second, blank power. Okay, so daily profit mining Beam is actually $3.85 before electricity costs. That is pretty profitable for a 3070. Cool. Alright, so next coin we're gonna mine is Ubiq. Now, please don't get your hopes up for Ubiq, because it is basically just a fork of Ethereum, and the Ubiq algorithm is basically just the Ycash algorithm. And as we can see here, we're getting, let's have a look, around 27.5 mega hash on our LHR card and 52 mega hash on our non-LHR card. So basically the exact same hash rate you would get on Ethereum, right? But just, you know, for science, let's apply some overclock settings here to both GPUs, and let's see what we get. Right, and if you needed further proof that Ubiq is basically just a fork off of Ethereum, then let's look at these hash rates, right? So we're getting 62.3 mega hash on our non-LHR card and 33.4 mega hash on our LHR card. So basically exactly the hash rates you would get on on Ethereum mining with those two cards, right? But just for science, let's look at what the LHR card would make per day. So we had about 34 megahash a second. I mean, it's still just below $1 a day, you know, for an LHR card. I know it's not a fortune, but it's still very much profitable even on Ubiq. But of course, there are better alternatives. So let's move on to the next coin now, shall we? Alright, so the next coin we're gonna try is Vertcoin, and I just want to show you something. Look out here, we see CUDA device 0 and CUDA device 1, right? So 0 is the LHR 1 and 1 is our non-LHR 1. And you can see our CUDA device 0 started out at the same hash rate, around just, you know, below 1,000 kilohash a second, right? Just the same as our non-LHR 1 did. But then you can see here, then it dropped down to 893 and then down to 519. But as you can see, there's definitely some sort of limiter kicking in there. Alright, so I'll let the miner run here on Vertcoin for a few minutes, and as you can see, it is definitely throttling on the LHR card pretty heavily. We're down, well, it jumps around a lot, but it seems to be roughly half, which is basically what we're seeing on Ethereum and similar algorithms, right? So from what I hear, the VertHash algorithm is very similar to the ETH algorithm, so it would make sense that it is also limited on Vertcoin. But of course, this is without overclocks applied, so let me apply our overclocks to the cards, and then let's see what we get. Okay, so with overclocks applied, our non-LHR card is getting almost 1,300 kilohash a second, while our LHR card is still kind of stuck at around 479 kilohash a second. So it's fairly safe to say Vertcoin is affected by LHR. But let's see what our profit is for Vertcoin anyway. So we were at around 0.480 megahash a second. And let's just put 0 power, because I'm not trying to power optimize. I mean, you're still looking at $1.25 per day mining Vertcoin on an LHR 3070, so I mean, not too bad. But let's put that next to what we were getting on the non-LHR one, which was about 1.3 megahash a second. Which, yeah, I mean, $3.38, that's pretty good. Alright, let's move on to the next coin. Alright, so the next coin we're gonna mine is AION, and I mean, right away we're getting roughly around 400 solutions per second for both GPUs. Fairly certain we're not gonna see any effect by LHR for mining AION, but let's apply our overclocks as we always do, and let's see what happens, shall we? There we go. Alright, we got our overclocks applied, and we're basically seeing the exact same hash rate for both cards at around 450 or so solutions per second. So definitely AION mining not affected by LHR whatsoever. Now let's see what our profits would look like mining AION on a LHR 3070. So we were at 450 solutions per second. Power is 0 because we're not taking that into account today. I mean, pretty good. $2.32 per day on a single LHR 3070. Nice. Yeah, let's move on to the next coin. Okie dokie, the next coin we're gonna try is Bitcoin Gold, and as you can see here, well, hash rate is jumping around a little bit, dancing around a little bit, but it seems we're getting roughly 115 solutions per second for both cards here, so no real effect. And if anything, up there, our LHR card got a little bit more hash rate for a while, but well, and now it's getting a little bit less. So as you can see, it's jumping around a little bit, but I've been keeping an eye on it for a few minutes, and they seem to both be around 115 solutions per second. So I'm gonna apply overclocks just like we have for every coin already, and then I'll check back in with you. Alright, so overclocks are applied, and we're basically at just above 120 solutions per second for both cards. Fairly safe to say Bitcoin Gold not affected by LHR whatsoever. Now let's come into What2Mine once again, and let's see what the daily profit for mining Bitcoin Gold on a LHR 3070 would be. Oh wow. Daily profit would be $4.05. Wow. That's almost as profitable as Ethereum is right now. Cool. Oh, and by the way, and I normally never do this, but like this video took a lot of hard work. Not only, of course, finding the two 3070s with this like exactly the same as one's LHR and one is not. Like that was a lot of work all in itself, but also just learning how to mine all of these coins took a lot of effort. So if you wouldn't mind giving the video one of these, I would really appreciate it. And I mean, if you're excited about, you know, LHR cards, there are always affiliate links in the description if you should so choose to purchase one. That means the channel gets a little bit of commission with no extra cost to you. Just that's there if you should so choose. Alright, on to the next coin. Alright, so the next coin we're going to mine is Ycash, and without any overclocks, you can see we're getting, I mean, above 60 solutions per second on both cards. Basically no real difference. As you can see, it's kind of jumping around a little bit here. Right now the LHR card is getting 10% less, but it was kind of the opposite before. I would say so far it doesn't seem to be really affected. Yeah, as you can see here, both are at around 62 here. So I'm gonna apply overclocks, and then we'll see what we get with overclocks. Alright, so overclocks are applied, and they actually did not make that big of a difference. We're getting around 68 mega hash on both cards, but at least it's fairly safe to say that Ycash not affected by LHR whatsoever. Now let's come into What2Mine once again and check out our profitability here. So we were getting around 68 solutions per second, and we're skipping power today. Yeah, I mean, daily profit for a 3070 LHR is $3.93. Of course before electricity cost, but that's, I mean, still $4 a day almost. That's pretty good. Yeah, let's move on to the next coin, shall we? Okay, so the next coin we're gonna mine is FLUX, and yeah, right off the bat we're getting basically the exact same hash rate on both cards here. You can see in the mid 60s, like 67 solutions per second here, 68, yeah, oh, even up to 70 on the LHR card. So if anything, the LHR card is a little bit more powerful. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, as you can see, they dance around a little bit, but they're both around the same hash rate here. Of course, this is without overclocks applied, so let me apply some overclocks and then I'll check back in with you. So funny enough, it looks like our overclocking didn't really do much. We're still getting around 69 solutions per second on both cards. So yeah, I mean, at least it's fairly safe to say that flux mining not affected by LHR whatsoever. But yeah, let's come into What2Mine and let's see what our profitability per day would be. So let's choose Flux, and we were at 70 solutions per second. We're not taking power into account today. Again, yeah, just below $4 per day per card. So yeah, we're at $3.88 per 3070, and that is for the LHR one as well, of course. Pretty decent. Alright, so coming up, I am going to show you 4 more coins here, but I'm gonna have to mine those with a miner called LOL Miner, and I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, I'm not 100% sure that I can trust the hash rates coming out of LOL Miner. It's just behaving strange, and it's not really matching up with what What2Mine expects these cards to get on those algorithms. However, I am still going to show them to you, just to show whether or not there seems to be a difference between the two GPUs for those coins, basically. But please take the upcoming last 4 coins with a little bit of a grain of salt, just in terms with what the actual hash rate you could get out of the cards are. However, I do still feel that it is a valid way to check whether LHR affects that algorithm or not, but just keep that in mind, please. Alright, so the first coin I'm going to show you here with LOL miner is BitTube Cash, and as you can see, we're getting roughly around 4.52, well, exactly 4.52 grafts per second on both GPUs. Now, I'm going to apply some overclocks, and I'm going to show you what I mean with that. I don't 100% trust the actual hash rates from LOL miner. But I think still it's fairly safe to say that BitTube Cash mining is not affected by LHR, but I'll get back to you in just a sec. Alright, so here's what I mean. I applied like heavy overclocking to both GPUs, but basically the hash rates did not budge at all. Like, we're still getting 4.53 grafts per second on both cards. And let me show you even more what I mean here. So if I go here to what to mine and I click on GPUs, up here on GPUs, and I go down to a 3070, and I can see down here for BitTube, which uses the 𝗥𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗡 algorithm, that I should be getting around 10.2 hashes per second, or I guess grafts per second. But I mean, we're nowhere near that. Now, there might be the case that this is one of those algorithms that like uses your CPU to some extent as well, and in that case it might be that sort of my system is bottlenecked by the CPU. That is very possible. But I think it's fairly safe to assume at least that, you know, both GPUs are performing equally bad mining this, which is why I feel confident in saying that at least it doesn't seem like BitTube Cash is affected by LHR mining. But please don't take these hash rates as what you could get out of these cards. Does that make sense? Cool. Let's move on to the next coin. Alright, so our next coin is GRIN, and yeah, right away we get 0.35 grafts per second on both cards, and that is with no overclocking. However, again, overclocking doesn't do anything, so I'm just gonna leave it at that and say it doesn't seem like GRIN mining is affected by LHR, but also don't trust these hash rates to be the max that these cards can perform, basically. Let's move on to the next coin before I confuse myself even more. Okay, so the next coin is Z Classic, or Z Classic as I would call it. And yeah, I mean, right away we're getting basically the same hash rates, just around 37 solutions per second for both GPUs. I'm gonna try to apply some overclocks, because I genuinely don't remember if that made a difference or not for this, so I'll be right back with you. Yeah, so I mean, look at this. I applied overclocks and our hash rates actually went down by a little bit. So, well, at least I think it's fairly safe to say that Z Classic not affected by LHR. And let's move on to the next coin. Alright, so for our final coin today we got Mimblewimble coin, which we're getting the exact same hash rate on both GPUs, 0.59 grafts per second. So fairly safe to say LHR does not affect Mimblewimble coin mining. Oof, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty exhausted after that. Now, if this video was helpful to you, then please give it one of these. I'd really appreciate it. And what you gotta do now is you gotta click on one of those videos on the screen, because this video is over. You can also click the picture of my face to subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. But yeah, go click on the next video and I'll see you there. Goodbye. Bye bye. Goodbye. Bye bye.